Close the record. And you're good to go.
All right, we're back. Terry and Gary's Low Expectations podcast. And today we have Rich Swann, the new World Impact Wrestling Champion.
Yeah, baby.
How's that sound?
Live. That sounds crazy, man. I still can't believe it.
Yeah, it's something you'll never get used to, you know. So now, see, Gary's coming at you, Rich, all nice and friendly, but I told him, I'm like, hey, why don't we get Rich Swann to do the podcast? He goes, oh, that's great. He goes, but his victory was a little tainted. What do you mean by that? You know, I think he's trying to imply maybe you grabbed the tights, hooked the ropes, feet on the ropes, whatever. Gary, you got to watch out for that cat. He's a little shady sometimes.
A little shady.
Gary, you think I cheated, man? Is that what happened?
Hey, by all means necessary.
Hey,
that's how we do it.
It worked for one of the greats, right?
That's right.
Right. Hey, while Gary's sharing this on all of our social media platforms, when did you get started in wrestling? What drew you to wrestling?
So what drew me to wrestling, my brother, he was a huge wrestling fan, and he was a huge tape trader. And when I was about like 5 or 6, I was in the house watching Power Rangers, and my brother came in and he's like, no, we're not watching that crap. All right, turn this off. And he turns on Raw. First he turns on Nitro, and I'm seeing all the cruiserweights. I'm seeing them flipping around. I want to say it was Mysterio and Malenko in the ring, and they were going nuts. And I was just like blown away by what Rey Mysterio was doing. And then, so after that, he turns on Raw. Bret Hart's in the middle of the ring. Like, they start the entrance. They start the long electric guitar thing, the whole
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, what is this?
Right.
I'm just drawn in from then on, like nonstop wrestling, everything. So my brother, he brought in the FMW tapes, the ECWs, the Wings, all the NWA stuff, like AWA. So I'm watching all this around like 7, 8, 9, 10. And like, that's just what I always wanted to be, was just a wrestler,
Yeah, so it blew your mind when you seen all that stuff and heard the music, and so you were hooked right off. Now, let me ask you a question. Did the Power Rangers go off to the side, or did you have a mixture of both? Pro wrestling?
I had a mixture of both. Because, I'd have the Power Rangers taped for when I came home from school when I was a kid. And then so I'd watch that, and then wrestling obviously came on later. So, and I'd stay up, and sometimes my mom would be like, oh, you got to get to bed, da, 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 da. And I'd have the TV turned down as low as, and still be watching. I just couldn't get enough.
Right. Now, does your brother still watch wrestling, or?
Yeah, he still does watch wrestling.
Now, when you told him you were getting into wrestling, was he supportive, or was he just kind of like past that stage in his life as far as with wrestling, or was he just like, oh, cool, and then you did your own thing, and then he'd check in on you once in a while? How'd that play out? And was your mom supportive, or did she worry about you getting hurt and all that stuff? Or
Well, so how I got into wrestling, like my mom, she found a school in Maryland for me, because a little beforehand my father had passed away. So I was starting to get into a lot of side things, coming from where I came from in Baltimore, Maryland, doing things, I really shouldn't have been doing. And so my mom, she got me, she told me where this school was in Maryland. So I would go there instead of doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. And I'd sweep up the school, pick up trash, do whatever I could. And the guy's name was Jim Christian. And the wrestling school was Eastern Wrestling Alliance in Maryland. And like they'd hooked me up and everything. And so they started training me. And my brother was super supportive of that. I was about, it was 2006. So I was about maybe 14 or so, 15.
Okay.
And yeah, my brother, he was super supportive. And so from there, my mom, she started to become very ill because she had lupus. She had lupus, she had schizophrenia, she had a couple of other disorders. And so I went to move with my aunt, and I went to a vocational school. And so maybe a little bit after that, I started at a wrestling school out there called National Championship Wrestling with Dirty Deeds, Darren Wise, and Adam Flash were the head trainers. And a little bit after that, my mom had passed away.
Sorry to hear about that.
Oh, yeah. That's, that's life. And
Right.
so that made my aunt and my brother super supportive as well, especially since it's something that my mom helped me get into and she knew that I really loved, and they were super supportive.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's always good to have family behind you that's supportive and friends.
100%. 100%.
Well, first off, big props on the Power Ranger shout out, because I love the Power Rangers around here. And a second, so when you were a kid and you were watching WWE, was Rhino your favorite?
Hey, man, he was one of them. Rhino, Tajiri, bro. Like, hey, I was pumped when Rhino won the ECW title. I'll tell you that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I didn't have to pay you. Usually I have to pay to get put me over.
This show gets expensive, don't it?
So I was probably thinking, man, I missed the payday. Gary, I think I told you this. I hope you don't mind me telling you this. So I go over to Swan, Gary, and I ask him, I go, congratulations, champ. He goes, hey, thanks. It means a lot. I go, now, as champion of any promotion, a lot of pressure is put on you. There's a lot of stuff you have to carry on your shoulders. I go, are you ready for that? He's like, he's kind of seeing that I'm getting to something. He's like, yeah, I'm ready. I go, you are ready. I believe in you. The first thing is doing my podcast. He's like, you didn't need to do all that build up for that. He goes, I would have done it anyways. It's sad.
It's all downhill from there.
Right.
No
So
way.
I told him the name of it. I go, you don't have to expect much out of us. It's a low expectation.
Yes.
Now, going into the match, and tell us how you hurt your, how you got injured and coming back from that, and how you came back quicker. Because I think it's it's a touching story too.
Yeah. So
where were we when you
where was it? Was in that brewery in was it Houston or?
Yes.
Yeah, it was super hot. Maybe 120 degrees.
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody.
But it was a cool setup though. I love that place.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's just
great on TV too.
Yeah, just if we're not cooking. I mean, but that's just the way of the game. That's the way of the game. You gotta appreciate it. But 120 degrees. I'm in there. It was me, Tessa Blanchard, Brian Cage, I want to say. Who else? Or no, me, Tessa, Willie Mack. Yeah, Brian Cage versus OVE, which was Sammy Callahan, Dave Chris, Jake Chris, and at the time Sawyer Fulton. Right. And so Sammy Callahan, he grabbed me in a front chancery, and it's something that has happened. We've done it 1,000 times, but that's just the way of the game. Sammy had me in the front chancery, and I'm bent over, stood up. Sammy Callahan, Jake Chris, and at the time Sawyer Fulton. Hold on. Am I starting to I'm starting to like glitch out, huh?
No, it's all right.
Yeah, we'll get through.
Yep.
All right. Hold on, wait. Let me
you
so I'm, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we
Oh, yeah,
can still.
it's good. You can go back to the video.
Okay, cool. I just had to reset it real quick. Alrighty. So he had me in the front chancery, and then so Dave Chris is standing on the top rope, and he jumps off, and as he jumps off, he gets a little, like a whole lot of his back meets mine, and as soon as he collided with me, my leg collapsed. It twisted towards the right. I just, collapsed. I fell under. It was like almost like when Sid Vicious had, broke his ankle.
Right.
Uh, it was like turned over to the right. My fibula was cracked, and it was to the point to where it was broken, it was poking at the skin. So if it would have, like, if my foot would have turned a little bit more, it would have went through the skin.
Yeah, compound. Yeah.
Yeah, that compound. And then
Yeah.
so my ankle, it went up into my shin and in my calf, and then my foot was like kind of peeled over. So basically, what they did was they put 3 buttons on each side of my ankle,
Mhm.
a plate in my foot. They didn't do anything with the fibula. And what else do I have? Oh, I got the 3 rods across to
Right.
hold the pieces together. And then so I do the rehab and everything. Or well, before then, I get the surgery, and I'm showing him the video, and I'm complaining about my back and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, let's get this X-ray too." And I guess my back had a fracture in it in the L5 and L6 from where the impact. So I was like,
Yeah, you were all jacked up.
yeah. So the doctor, he was saying, you might not, wrestle the same way. You might not ever wrestle again. You might not walk the same. You're going to have arthritis. Like as soon as the surgery sets in, like he said, don't be surprised. It's gonna come in very quick. And especially with this job, he said you're gonna feel it immediately. So he was really advising me to try to find something else to do, basically, in the kindest way.
Right. You want to get back in the ring, but
He's in the kindest way. And I'm like, no.
right.
So when he said, "Oh, you might not walk the same again," I can't have like a little like side like walk, man. I can't do it. I don't.
Right.
So I went home, and as soon as he told me that I would be able to stand on my feet, we were in the middle of a move too. So I'm on my little scooter thing and everything, and I got my cat, and I'm rolling around, and I still got it too. I want to bring it in for a show one day.
Right. Hey, sign it and I'll sell it on eBay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's get it.
You know what's funny is Heath Slater, I stole his crutches. And I'm gonna have him sign it. I'm gonna sell them.
Yes.
The next morning when he woke up to go to the airport, he's probably going, "Where's my crutches? How am I gonna get out of here?"
On eBay.
Hey man, buy them back.
Either I'm gonna sign them and sell them, or I'm gonna use them as a prop in a hardcore match.
Yes.
So now, now how long did it take you from the time you were injured to the time you came back and started wrestling? How long did that take you?
It took about so let's see, January to when was Slammiversary? July, June. So about 6-7 months.
Yeah.
Took about months.
Yeah, and an injury like that usually takes way longer, especially when
Yeah.
they're telling you, maybe you should not get back in the ring. So
Mhm.
they're probably going, "Hey, what do you think about cars? You think about real estate's a great job."
All right.
Very good. Hey, there's people that need to be used in the medical field. I mean,
Right.
entertainment. You can probably tell jokes, kid. Hey,
Well, I'm actually a really funny guy.
Yeah.
I do have to say, whenever I'm around you, we're always laughing and stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
You're a treat, and you got that good aura about you. Everybody is drawn towards you in the locker room. I noticed that.
Hey,
So,
man,
but yeah.
I
Now,
appreciate
when you first started, when you had your first match, I know Gary's got a couple questions.
Mhm.
And then how long was it? Because were you in NXT or did you go straight to the main roster?
I was in NXT for about a year and a half before they called me up to the main roster.
You were in the main roster. I remember watching it, and I'm like, this guy's got it. And then you've been with Impact for what, 2 years now?
Yes. Actually 3 now. Now this is the 3rd year. So
Yeah. Time flies, man. I've almost been there 2 years.
Yeah,
So
it does. I enjoy it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, the atmosphere is great.
Mhm.
Any locker room I've been in, I'm like you, I just mesh, people,
Yeah.
enjoy being around me for whatever reason. I don't know. But
I don't either.
yeah. Look at Gary. What, Gary? What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what
Gary's
is
been married for over 20 years. He knows just to smile and
almost 30?
almost 30. There
Almost
you go.
30. 91. So it's old. So, hey, speaking of the locker rooms and the stuff, what's the difference between like a WWE locker room and an Impact locker room?
For me, I really didn't have I don't have a difference because in both companies I had friends that I've grown up with in the business, and I've always felt comfortable, and yeah, I will say WWE is more tense, a little bit more serious on certain shows, but at the same time, the atmosphere of Impact is where everybody is gelling together, meshing together. It's a very non-judgmental environment, how I feel, and
Oh, I'm judging in that locker room.
You know you are.
Who's doing that, bro?
The eyes are everywhere, scoping it out.
I think if I can add to that, I think I totally agree. When with WWE, you have such a high like the production level, and they've been at it for how many decades,
Mhm.
and then that pressure. I think a lot of times people put pressure on themselves,
Yes.
and then when you not necessarily the company, but you put pressure because you see all this stuff going on, Gary, and you've been around high production events, and it's just but with Impact it's more laid back, and I think one thing I've noticed when I was there at a younger age in like WWE, I put more pressure on myself because of the production level. When I went back there the second time, I was older and I didn't put as much pressure on myself. And I think when you put a lot of pressure on yourself, you can't go out there and perform to your best ability. You can go out there and hit a home run, but you could even, you could hit a grand slam if you didn't put that personal pressure on you. So yeah, that's what I kind of gather, So
Yeah,
but I'm with you. I get along with everybody, and I've come up with a lot of people in the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
And the Impact's got a lot of ex WWE wrestlers and everything else too. It's like a melting pot full of professional wrestlers too. So it seems like
I think it's got a good mix, don't you think?
Yeah, it's got a huge mix because I've got people that like Ethan Page. He was in my second match I ever had at the ECW arena in Velocity a place called it was a company called Velocity Pro, and to see him from then to now, and him to see me from a 16-year-old kid to now is like something. It's beautiful, Like just I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, man, like you're awesome on the mic. Like he's got the awesome body. He's a good wrestler. And then just to see like from where we came from, it's like it's good, and the fact that Impact gave us the platform, you know what I mean? And it gave somebody else another opportunity to be on a national platform. It just feels good.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus, it's cool seeing guys. You always see the same guys going up as you do on the way down, as they
Yes,
say.
indeed.
So, but yeah, Ethan, I've watched him. I've known Ethan probably about, oh geez, probably about 7 years now, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, I've seen him mature in a lot of ways in the ring, maybe physique too, promos, and yeah, and the North, they're one of my favorite tag teams. They're a
Definitely.
tough tag team, and that's another cool thing, Gary. They've got a good mixture of older talent, helping out the younger talent, even learning from the younger talent. You got guys that have never, and girls that have never been on that grand stage, so it's kind of homegrown talent with talent that's been out there for a while, and younger talent coming in from other companies. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a good locker room, a good team.
100%.
I know you've won championships in WWE and Impact and stuff. What was that like to win that first cruiserweight championship, or was it 205 Live? I think it was. How did that feel?
It was an awesome feeling. I got to wrestle with Brian Kendrick, who I think is a phenomenal person, a phenomenal wrestler, and it was just surreal. I never would have thought that I'd make it to that stage in my career, to be given that opportunity to that like to be bestowed upon a championship, and especially in WWE. Like there's not even words I could really put into it, because I couldn't believe it until it happened. And there's a lots of things that people say are going to happen in the wrestling business, and then they change or they don't happen. That's why I kind of don't have my expectations up too high. But that happened, and I was just elated.
Yeah.
It's the payoff for the hard work and preparation you've done throughout your career. So
and especially when you're somebody my size, 5'6", 160 pounds soaking wet. You take that big dream of getting to WWE, the land of the giants, out of your head, and then to get that opportunity, it was just great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You said you spoke of Rey Mysterio earlier. Do you think he kind of like knocked down that wall when he became like WWE champion? That it doesn't really matter. The work ethic means more than if a guy's 6'9".
Definitely. I feel like he definitely knocked that down.
Yeah,
like him and Eddie both, just because their sheer passion for the business, and that's kind of what I try to like look at and try to like model myself after, and like just try to like just respect it, and just love it for what it is.
right,
And
right.
I feel like people can see that, and then that's your bigness, that's your big person, your personality, that's your size right there.
Right, right. Now, Gary, do you have any?
We got a couple questions for Rich. One is which Power Ranger would you think is the best ring or best promo? Who would be the best wrestler out of the Power Rangers?
Oh man. I'd probably have it'd be a toss up. It'd be between Jason David Frank as the White Ranger as Tommy, and then Zach, the Black Ranger, because of just his grooviness, his dancing. That's kind of where I stole where I got a little bit of my gimmick from. But I don't know. I'd like to see those guys split off in the Power Rangers and have a feud.
Yeah.
And Jason David Frank's a badass as it is too.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
So
He is.
We got Dana in Cardone says she misses you, Rich. And they're saying I'm the pretty face of the group. We all know that already.
It's relatives of Gary.
It is my mom. How'd you know?
Oh,
Whatever. You ruined it.
right.
But yeah. So as far as like your wrestling career goes, I mean, is there one match that you always wanted to have? Is there one match you wanted to look to really fight? Besides, have you fought Terry? Have you fought Rhino before?
Yeah, we actually did wrestle in at Bound for Glory in 2018. And that it was you and RVD, me and Willie, and then the North.
But did we actually get in the ring together though?
I don't think we actually touched.
Right,
No.
right. I remember Rob kicking me right in the head.
Yeah, he got me too. He got, but he drew blood on you. That was woo.
And then I got a huge stinger too, down my arm and stuff.
Oh, is that when he turned on you?
Well, yeah, that's when he turned on me.
Yeah.
I didn't get knocked out, but I definitely felt it. So it's not the first time because I've wrestled Rob, several times. It's funny that you mentioned that because you ever go back and watch some of your old promos and matches? I mean, I've been in it a lot longer, but I was watching some ECW stuff on the network, and it's funny. I'm watching. I'm like, I said that. They were bleeping out, and I'm like, pretty good promo, but I said that.
That's so awesome, man. No, I do sometimes, and man, like it's like
his feet will come and get you.
yeah. I'm like, I wish
if they're not meant for you, they'll find you and they'll get you.
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, they will.
Is that something you guys practice? I mean, you think just over the years you've just gotten better at it?
Gary, this isn't practice. This is just what it is.
This is what it is, huh?
I don't know where that came from. I just figured I'd say that.
You just like to flex.
Right.
I'm trying to catch up, man. I'm trying to catch up.
There you go. Hey, you're right there, baby. You're right there, champ. Now, have you worn the title out to like the grocery store or if I don't know if
I have not. I just don't. I don't want to take any chances. I don't want to take any chances getting got for COVID-19, not having a mask on, coming out looking jacked with my Impact Championship around my waist in the grocery store shop, and they might come get me, man. I don't.
Yeah, they might take a picture. Hey, look at the champ's not wearing his mask.
Might come get you.
Do you at least sleep with it? Because I think Rohit sleeps with his.
Oh
yeah,
that?
Yeah, that's what he told us.
I got it chilling.
All I gotta say is I've done things with the wrestling title that I've had that would make the wrestling gods happy.
Yes. Hey, well,
that's for a different show.
Yeah,
that's for definitely a different.
Hey, this is the Low Expectations podcast, man.
Yeah, we have to bring them expectations up.
I can't give you all the hot story, the super hot.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Gary.
I was just gonna comment because everybody sees like your little box there, and it says Sue Yeezy. So you might want to explain what that is.
I mean, everybody, the reason why it says Sue Yeezy is because I don't have a Zoom actually myself. I don't even have social media. This is my wife's, Sue Young's Zoom, and I'm borrowing it.
You know, I'm gonna call you that.
Yes,
You're
please.
too easy now.
Too easy.
So we're Gary, do you have any other questions before we start wrapping this up? We don't want to take champs.
Yeah, well, I was just asking. Speaking of Sue, how awesome is it, you guys being in the same Impact Wrestling together, and that's got to be pretty cool feeling too.
It is very cool. It's awesome to especially in this business, to where like sometimes you get split up, or you don't get as much time to see your spouse as you would like, or him or her might be at home, but in our case, we're traveling together, we're both doing what we love, and we're getting to show the world that like we love this, and like it's no better feeling than that. And then for both of us to become champion in the same night, that was pretty sweet. So I think it just put that cherry on the cake.
Yeah, it's a big congratulations to both of you guys, and that's pretty awesome.
I appreciate that.
That's really cool. I was gonna say something about the wrestling gods.
Yeah, and you already know why. That's why I had to bring it up. I had to put two and two together.
We'll leave that for another show.
Yeah, that's another show.
My mind was going there. I had a bunch of questions to ask.
I'll answer them.
Now, did you go, hey, get out of the way, the champ needs to use the bathroom, brush his teeth? No, you get out of the way, the champ needs to do it.
They're both the champs. Oh.
Yeah. The champ don't do dishes anymore. Go in there. Well, I'm the champ.
Who's the champ in the house? We got to do everything tag team now. We got to do it together now.
There it is.
Now that's the competition. Now see who holds it the longest.
Right. Gary actually brought up a good point. You want to say that again, Gary?
Yeah, the competition now is to see who holds the title the longest.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
You guys starting off on equal footing.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
No pressure, Swan. No pressure.
Because I ain't no demon, man. I can't. And there's big mooses. There's you. There's so many. I don't know. People coming on back.
Right. A lot of good competition in Impact Wrestling. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see you guys tag team up. You and Sue. Little mixed tag team.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
I thought Gary, you met Swan and I.
No, I've seen you wrestle. I'd rather see him tag with Sue.
Me and Lana would be an awesome tag team as well.
Right.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have Heath's feelings all hurt. And,
we don't want that. We don't want that.
He's probably texting you right now.
Right.
Man, what you trying to do, man?
Right?
Go on
one day, I already replaced him.
Right. So,
hey,
well, we do. We have we've got to get you up. We run a promotion up here, Gary and I, and Insane Wrestling Revolution. We got to get you up here for a show. So
I'd love to come.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, we can have you guys share a room. We bring you both of them. So
yeah, that's what
I didn't know if the champ needed his own room, or she's just like, hey, the champ needs her own room.
Pick out the red M&Ms for you.
She needs the limo. I need the jet.
You sound like Terry now.
Yeah.
We're styling and profiling now.
Speaking of our next event, it's November 21st. IWR Gore's Giving.
Yes.
Who got us slated for that, Terry?
We've got myself versus Larry D, because he's slated. He was injured, and then we have Johnny Swinger versus Cody Diener.
Excited to see that.
We have Beastman's coming in. We have the Game Changers. We have a lot of talent. Kenny Urban. Yeah, so it'll be a really good card. So only 180 seats are available, right? Because
due to the size restrictions, the COVID restrictions.
And we required a mask, and we'll be doing temperatures at the door, and we'll do all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
It's going to be a good event. It's really, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Larry D. I'm really looking forward to seeing Cody versus Johnny Swinger too. I think they're going to have a good match.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great. They're great. They Swinger makes me laugh every time I see him in the ring. It makes me laugh.
So, yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Right. Him and that fanny pack.
Swing man.
And speaking of Power Rangers, next week, November 5th, we have Hillary Shepard, Diva Talks from Power Rangers.
Nice.
She was Diva Talks. She was in, I think, Stargate 9, right?
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine. Yeah, she was in Star Trek. She wrote books and did board games with her best friend Daryl Hannah. She's a rock and roll singer and drummer, so that should be a good interview, a good time talking to Hillary.
That's what's up.
Swan, I'm not gonna lie. Hey. Gary told me that, and I'm like, we might have to bump Swan to next week.
That's the first thing he said.
Hey,
he goes,
no offense, champ, but I don't know if you'd look that good in a dress. So
you're right. You're right. But hey, I can be a rock and roller, though. I can tell you that. I can be a rock and roller.
I'm sure you can, but I've seen him in the dress. You're not going to look that good in a dress. My heart went pity pat and pat once more.
Hey,
plus Star Trek and all that stuff. A huge mark for that. And
it is Star Trek. You know.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I wouldn't even been mad though.
Yeah. Well, the big buildup, to get you to, hey, champ, a lot of weight on your shoulders. Can you
What else we got? I was gonna ask Rich to tell everybody where they can see him, but he don't have social media. So Impact Tuesday nights, I guess, right?
That's where you can see me, baby.
That's right. Impact Tuesday night,
8:00, daddy.
There you go.
You defended the title this week?
Hey, I defended it against Eric Young this week, and I got it. I came out on top.
Nice.
I'm sorry for the spoilers for anybody that missed it last Tuesday, but that's why they shouldn't miss it. Now go next week.
That's right.
Go tune in next week.
Yeah.
Terry, anything else? Any closing statements there, Terry?
No. I thank you. I appreciate you coming on. You deserved it. And all your hard work and everything, and come back from an injury. Ever since I remember watching you on 205 Live and the live events and everything, and just I knew you were gonna I just seen it in you, So, and I'm glad you will come on the show.
I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate you inviting me on.
And hopefully you guys can keep the titles equal amount of time for many, many months, if not years.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I don't want her keeping the title and telling you, hey, you got to go do the dishes. The champ does not do the dishes.
Not unless.
The short list will get a lot longer.
Speaking of titles, since you won that match, Terry, don't you get to choose your next your title match?
Hey.
Oh,
there you go.
Good.
Thanks for planting that seed, Gary.
Man.
Focus on the tag titles, but thanks for planting that seed.
Oh
There
man,
now.
I'm scared. I ain't trying to get gored now. Like
Right.
we got ankle locks and out drivers and gores and like come on,
Right.
from all angles.
So the fans will just have to wait and see.
They'll have to wait and see.
Wait and see. We're gonna have to have Dave get us out of here. So
Right.
whenever
I'm here, man. Whenever you're ready.
He's there. The
There's
voice.
Dave.
All right. Well, thanks for
Hey,
watching Terry and Gary. What? Go ahead.
Oh no! Thanks again, Swan.
Yeah,
Hey.
we appreciate it, man. It was awesome having
Gary
you.
usually takes us out.
All right. Thanks for watching Terry and Gary's Low Expectations podcast. We'll be on YouTube later tonight, and then hopefully we'll be on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and the rest of them in the next couple of days. So subscribe, get on there, download it, watch Rich Swan, and Terry Rhino there next Tuesday on Access TV. Impact Wrestling Superstars. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a great day.
You too, man.
Hey,
Thank you.
you too. Peace.